Welcome to the amazing Canon L3, an absolutely stunning Japanese 35mm rangefinder camera from the 1950s. I've got it coupled with a Leitz Elmar 5cm f3.5 lens. It's a collapsible lens, so what I've done, after a few warnings and a bit of advice from people online, I've put a rubber band around the neck of the lens, so when I collapse it back into the body, it doesn't go too far and potentially damage the baffles or damage the curtain, anything like that. So I've done a longer video on this camera, which I'll link to above, if you'd like to have a bit more of an in-depth look at the camera. So what I'm going to do today is load a roll of Rollei RPX 100 film in there, black and white negative film. Obviously there is no light meter in this camera, so any light readings I take will have to be recorded with my Sekonic light meter. It's a 100 speed film, but what I'm going to do is rate it at ISO 200. Just set ISO 200 onto the light meter. Now I'm also going to add this little strap to the camera, which will allow me to sort of carry it about a little bit easier, and it looks pretty cool as well. Just now got to load the film. Now to open the back door of the camera, you turn this key on the bottom plate and then you pull down on this little tab at the bottom of the back door and open it up. Just pop up the locking pin, slip the roll of film in there, drop the locking pin down, pull the film across, slip it into the slot there, and then start winding on. You can see the film is advancing quite nicely there. Fire that one off. We'll probably do two. Then we'll close the back door. Make sure the film is travelling between the guide rails there, which it is. Okie dokie. Now we can shut the back door. So close it up, turn the locking key. That is now locked in place. Just fire that one off again. We'll just do one more advance, just burn one more off. Beautiful. Now you can set the film counter number by turning this little wheel on the front here, set that to 0. You record your shutter speed on this dial here. And on this camera you set your aperture on the lens here, and just collapse the lens back into the body, or partially back into the body, and that now is fully loaded, ready to shoot. Now I am in a rural setting. I'm looking after a mate's place and he lives out in the sticks, so he's gone away for a few weeks. I'm looking after the place for him. It's a bit of pressure, a proper house instead of a van, a little bit above my station, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but we'll get there. I'm surrounded by trees, hills, nature. We've got chickens roaming about, we've got a couple of cats knocking about, a couple of fish ponds to look after. Have a pedal around, get to find out where I am, what's here, take along the Canon L3 and pop off a few shots if I see anything sort of rurally, and then later on I'm going to drive into town, get some supplies, and while I'm in town we'll pop off a few shots as we're in town and just get a sort of town country vibe with 36 black and white frames. Hopefully the Canon L3 will do the business. I know it will, it's a beautiful camera. First we'll have a little bit of a walk around the property, just get a few little photographs if I see anything. How about this little vase? Chickens go in, pies come out. Bit of a long, slow hill climb. Car coming, this is the first car I've seen all day, or heard all day. Now I've seen it. It's a lot easier coming downhill than it was going up, that is for sure. Now this is a beautiful tree, and then I got busy with work, and then Christmas, and then New Year, and I just forgot about the camera, to be honest, forgot about the roll of film. We're into the new year, so I thought, right, dig out the camera, finish this roll of film off and see how we go. Went up into the local mountain bike park, did a few trails, probably popped off 3 or 4 shots really. So for this shot I'm going to f11, 1/125th of a second. Basically just a stand of trees over there. We've got some fairly good light coming in and out. It's a little bit dappled, well that's good. Make some nice photographs I reckon. Something like that, as you can see there. We'll go with f11, 1/125th. Beautiful. All right, next frame. Let's just try a shot here. One tree, bit of a pond in the background there. was pretty cool. Whew. I think I managed 2 or 3 shots there. Good mountain bike ride. The clouds have rolled in again, so I'm not going to waste this film. I want some good light on it and some half decent subjects. Head back to the van, get a coffee, get a bite to eat, and we'll worry about the rest of the film later this afternoon, evening, if we get a bit of late light. Failing that, there's always tomorrow. All I'm doing now is just having a bit of a walk around, try and find something with some decent light on it that I can make a couple of shots of. Like that stand of trees over there, but yeah, well, how's it going to look really? Let's get a shot of it anyway, why not? Nice little spot onto the Tuki River. See if we can find something down here to shoot. Yeah, to be fair, I'm not convinced. Not much on that shot really, bit of a waste. So the rest of the film I burnt off just looking after the grandkids. I thought I'd get a few little portraits and what have you. Not the easiest thing when the kids are running about and doing the thing, trying to get the rangefinder all lined up. So I'll get this developed now in Kodak D76 and hopefully we've got a few nice photographs. Okay, let's be completely honest. These first photographs around the property and the ones on the road as I rode up and down on the push bike, they're garbage. They have come out okay, but there's nothing to the photographs. A pointless waste of film really, especially the chickens. I mean, what was I thinking? Anyway, the only photograph from this sequence that I did like was the shot of the old petrol pump. I quite like that one. Likewise, the photographs at the mountain bike park, complete garbage apart from this one. I do like this photograph. The other photographs down at the river as well, just what was the point? Just absolutely nothing to hold your eye on. Mush, absolute mush. But now it gets interesting because this is where the Canon L3 and the Leitz Elmar 5cm 3.5 lens come into their own, photographing people. The pictures of my grandkids around the garden have come out beautifully. I really do like these. I love the tonality and contrast of these images. They are sharp without the razor wire sharpness of today's digital sensors. I love the old school feel with a film grain. It just adds so much to these photographs. So the Canon L3 will remain one of my favourite 35mm film cameras. It's an absolute pleasure to use this camera. The look of it, the feel of it, I mean seriously, look at that. It looks so vintage. Well, that's probably because it is vintage. I mean 1950s, come on. It really is just a fantastic camera to play with and to try and get a result out of. Me personally, I won't bother shooting landscapes or anything sort of funky or still life, anything like that anymore. It's not worth it on this camera. There's far better cameras that'll do a far better job. In my humble opinion, this camera comes into its own shooting people. It just gives a very distinctive look to people photographs. I absolutely love it to bits. I'll be taking it out to shoot some street portraits in the near future. So if you're interested in vintage 35mm cameras, try and pick up a Canon L3. It's an absolute cracking camera that you will not be disappointed with. And they're not that expensive. They really aren't that expensive. So get out there, get yourself a bargain, go and enjoy. All right, until next time, thanks for sticking with the channel. Thanks for sticking with this episode, and until next time, I'll see you again.